Hello, beautiful people. If you're new here, my name is Amanda Zitto. I make motorcycle travel vlogs, content about motorcycle camping, and general encouragement for you to get out and do the thing. Today we're going to talk about a couple of my favorite pieces of motorcycle accessories that could make great gifts under $100, but also has changed my experience of motorcycle travel for the better. Back in July this year, my brother and I were headed to Sturgis, South Dakota for Revzilla's Get On ADV Fest. Unfortunately, just a couple of hours away from the event, my brother got a flat tire. I pulled out all of the gear to help him fix it, including a patch kit and an air compressor because he didn't have those things yet. Unfortunately, when we opened the air compressor, we found out that it was absolutely smashed, probably on a previous trip that I took this year back in March when I was crossing country. I'm pretty sure I smashed it in Big Bend National Park in Texas. However, I haven't had to use it since then, so I haven't opened it since March. Had no idea that it was broken. I opened it up, absolutely lost faith. I didn't think we were going to be able to use it, and Gary plugged it in anyway. And very, very luckily it worked. We were able to inflate his tire and get it plugged so we could make it to the event. However, I don't think it's wise to be carrying around an absolutely smashed air compressor and expect it to work again. So I replaced it with a Slime Power Sports inflator. Why did I choose this pump specifically? 1, it was on sale. 2, I've heard other people sing high praises for this product. And 3, I am hoping just a little bit that the more rigid container of this pump might protect it from my future drops. I also really like that the wire from the inflator itself to the 12-volt plug is 9.2 feet. I also really like that there is multiple different options to plug it in, from the 12-volt to the alligator clips to just straight up screwing it straight to the battery. I will tack on to the end of this one, you should also carry a plug kit. Some kits are for tubeless tires, the ones where you blip, blip, blip. Very scientific. But there are also tube repair kits for those of you who run tubes in your tires. Next on my list are the no noise earplugs. I know that I've gone off on my channel before about hearing protection, but I really don't think that it can be stated enough. And I know that it sounds counterintuitive, but if you have a Bluetooth headset in your helmet, it really does help to wear earplugs to be able to hear your music better, because what the earplugs are doing is cutting out that wind noise buffeting your helmet, making it possible for you to hear your music better, but also any strange noise that your motorcycle might make. I know a lot of people really enjoy the cheap foam earplugs. They don't work for me personally. I get pressure points, I get headaches. It's not a good thing. Until I found these lovely earplugs that have the little phalange things. That's what I call them anyway. There are a lot of different variations of the no noise earplugs in general. Like there's travel ones, there's motorcycle ones, there's one for shooting. In general, they're all really, really close in what they're capable of blocking out. So I have the travel ones. I think they're out of stock right now as of making this video. So the motorcycle ones will work, the shooting ones will work. I will leave a link down in the description to all of the choices available over on Revzilla. They come with a really nice carrying case, which has helped me not lose these earplugs. I know, it's a miracle. I keep the little container attached to my tank bag, so now it's just habit. If I stop anywhere, I pull off my helmet and I pull out the earplugs, they automatically go in their little case, they stay attached to the tank bag. It's worked out pretty well so far. I discovered the phalange style earplugs about 2 years ago, and since then I've been using them religiously, and it's just helped a lot, and I don't have any discomfort with this style of earplug like I do with the foam ones. So if you don't have luck with the foam ones, you find yourself like avoiding putting them in and just riding without them because it's such a pain in the butt, try out these earplugs. I hope that you like them as much as I do. I'm gonna throw in really quick my BikeMaster heated grips. If you ride in cold climates, if you ride at a high elevation, if where you live generally gets below 60 degrees at some point during the year and you have not tried heated grips yet, or if your bike doesn't come with them, now that a lot of the newer models are all coming with heated grips. If your bike doesn't have heated grips, you live in a cold place and you haven't tried them yet, please, please give these a try. The BikeMaster heated grips are under $100. They're not as expensive as the Oxford ones, and I have put them on 2 different bikes now. The ones that I have had on Briarios have been on there for at least 5 years at this point. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. I will say a huge thank you to Nathan from For the Love of Knobs and assisting me installing my heated grips on Briarios. You're awesome. There's 5 different levels of heat, which makes it really nice to keep it adjusted to just where you need it to be. And they're life-changing. If you don't have them and you ride in the cold, get heated grips. Just do it. Next up, Rok Straps. I get questions all the time about how I mount all of the things to my motorcycle, which is fair. There's a lot of stuff. But the best option, in my opinion, are either the nylon straps that have buckles, which you can get at pretty much any outdoor gear store that carries backpacking equipment, or Rok Straps. Especially if you're accustomed to using bungee cords, if that has been your game, like, cool for you. If you haven't tried Rok Straps yet, please do. It's a much more secure option to mount stuff to your motorcycle, especially if you go down gnarly roads with a bunch of potholes or off-road at all. Rok Straps are where it's at. And I know a lot of people love their bungee cords. I know a lot of people love their bungee nets. But bungee cords, I think that you should definitely ditch sooner than later, partially because they experience wear and tear much faster than Rok Straps, than nylon straps, than much more secure mounting options. Partially because the metal hooks, if you're putting down enough tension so stuff doesn't wiggle around when you're going off-road, you're also stretching out the very weak metal that they make those hooks out of. So slowly over time, they're gonna lose their hookiness. And then also the elastic that they make those straps out of is, let's say, very susceptible to sun and weather. So you could easily go through a whole set of bungee straps in less than 6 months if you're using them every single day and you're riding in the heat, in the rain, in the cold. That elastic's going to stretch out more and more and more. And also there's no adjustability in bungee straps, so you're stuck trying to stretch it as far as possible and then find a mounting point on that part of the bike, and sometimes there's just not. Or you're stuck wrapping it around stuff and then mounting it, which also isn't necessarily the most secure way to shorten a bungee cord. I say all these things as somebody who used to use bungee cords all the time when I first started out, but I learned better, and I'm hoping that I can help you learn better too. Rok Straps are adjustable. They're super secure because you loop them through one part and mount them securely to one part of the motorcycle, and then you loop them through another part and mount it securely to the other point. And you clip them together, and then you can adjust the length of how long you need it to be. So you're not restricted to the length of your cord. Does that make sense? I don't know. They're really reliable. They mount things securely to your bike. They're adjustable to your load. All of the things. All good things. While I definitely stand by my Atlas throttle lock that I added to Briarios earlier this year, life-changing, is a little bit more than $100. So I'm also going to tack on Crampbusters, which are just a simple piece of plastic. They come in like a couple different sizes based on how thick your handlebars are. And it's just a way to give your fingers a break if you don't have cruise control on your motorcycle. That way you can use your palm or your wrist to put pressure to hold your throttle instead of death grip on the bars. Not that you should have a death grip on the bars, but you get what I mean. It's just a nice way to give yourself a break so that you're not getting throttle fatigue. Last on this list is my Micro Start Jump Pack, which is definitely just shy of the $100 mark, but I thought it was kind of important to add on here. Back in 2019, when I went to Babes Ride Out, my battery died overnight. It was a combination of a parasitic draw from the USB charger that I had installed at that point and the cold. The main point is that in the morning, my battery was dead. No girls around me had a jump pack. Nobody had jumper cables so that I could jump it from somebody else's bike, but Olivia from Killswitch Queen saved the day because she had a jump pack. After that trip, I bought a jump pack. And while I haven't had to use it for my bike since then because I got rid of that USB charger, the point being is that it's awesome. I haven't had to use it for my bike since I bought one. However, I have helped many other people jump their bikes with it. It also just feels good to be able to help other people, especially with the amount of people who have helped me. Like, feels good to like pay it forward, you know? Yeah. Also, it's just nice to have, and I have jumped a car with it before. All of the things I talked about in this video will be linked down in the description. All of those links are affiliate links to Revzilla, so if you choose to purchase through my link, I do get a small cut of the profit. A huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon who make this channel possible. I love you guys, you're amazing. And question for my end screen crew. This one is we're going to go a little bit more in depth here. If you could only pick 5 things that when you found them or when you upgraded to them totally changed your motorcycling experience, what would they be? Leave them down in the comments. I am stoked to read the comments this week. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you later.